Let's see. Let me share. Escape out of here. Let me take a look. I'm going to take just a very brief tour for those of you who are unfamiliar with how a project looks in Acumatica. Very briefly, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but this is my list of all projects. And what I have done this is a core out of the box, just standard list. And I went ahead and I sorted it by customer ID, so I could see all of my customers here. And even better than that, I created my own filter, which is standard functionality, user level functionality in Acumatica. And again, all of my colleagues are smarter than I am. They can attest to you that I am not the sharpest technical knife in the drawer. So if I can do this, any of y'all can do it. But what I did was I grabbed and I filtered my project list on customers so I can see indeed this customer does have multiple projects. So let's take a look at one of those projects. And here we see the Windows upgrade for this equity group. And basically what the project accounting module does is it allows you to accumulate revenue numbers, cost numbers, both budget and actual, to a specific, limited group activity, a production run or whatever you want in your accounting, a certain job. It can allow you to do things like assign specific employees to a certain project, limit it to certain GL activities. It can drive how you bill the activities. So project accounting will allow you to do time and material billing. It will allow you to do progress billing. It will allow you to do a combination of both of those. And for our purposes, again, the combination of allowing us to input revenue budgets, cost budgets, and then maintain balances is really very, very valuable for our business. So as you can see on this screen, we do have, some revenue budgeting going on here, some cost budgeting going on here. We have commitments. We have, and we'll talk about this in just a moment, we have the allocation of purchase orders specifically tagged to this project. And last but not least, we also have invoices. So I can look at a project and I can see what invoices have been billed against that project. But what I have not been able to do prior to 2023 R1 is run an aging by the project. Even if I were to look at the standard inquiry for a customer balance, which is here my customer details, I cannot get the granularity of their receivables by project, nor could I get it in these older reports that are unstarred. I could certainly run an AR aging by a specific project, but what this now allows me to do is it allows me to run a report for a customer for all projects. And furthermore, I can ask for a specific customer with a specific project manager. So each different project for a customer can be run or approved or managed by a different employee. And so again, that for us is extraordinarily valuable. Now, because I am working in my local Acumatica, and this is a non-production license, when I run a report here, it's going to show up on the screen and it's going to look pretty ugly. So what I did is I ran this report and then I printed it to PDF so we could all take a look at it. So can you all see this report now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So what you can see here are that I've asked for all of the projects on an aging for my equity group customer. And it has sorted my aging, of course, by project. And, very quickly, I can see project number 1 with a project manager has an outrageous AR balance and absolutely no payments. And I can see over here my second project with a different project manager. We have some problems out here, but immediately, of course, as a manager, my focus is going to go back here and I'm going to have a call with my friend Jordan. And I'm going to ask Jordan, what the heck's going on with this project? Because we're not getting paid on this project. So this allows me to see where, I might have a customer whose overall receivables look fairly good, but any issues that I have can be targeted, to one project or one activity. So that's my aging by project. And you have the alternative as well to run just an open items as opposed to an aging. Now the inventory tracking on a project, as I said, has been a part of Acumatica's project accounting for a few versions. I can't remember honestly which version it started in, but one of the challenges, and it is set by project. You have three options. Tracking by location is the legacy function. So when they introduced inventory tracking for projects, this is how you did it. You did it by location. And it was okay, but as I said, there was a lot of administrative overhead. If you did a purchase order for a project, when you did the purchase receipt to the warehouse and the location, you ended up having to add this funky little location that was the project. So ultimately, you added a lot of locations that you didn't really need, and they didn't really represent anything. It was just a function of using inventory with a project. So that has been all cleaned up. That's not that with the introduction of track by project quantity and track by project quantity and cost, Acumatica creates the kind of a virtual location for you in the background. You now, though, do have the ability with the inventory to track it by the project, which is really, in the sense, what we wanted to do. We wanted to allocate and isolate a certain amount of, a particular stock item to this project. So it's not available to the general populace. It's not available to purchase orders or sales orders or issues or anything. The only distinction here is that if we track by project quantity and cost, it not only allocates that particular quantity of inventory to this project, it carries over that purchase cost to this project. Whereas tracking by project quantity only tracks or allocates the quantity and allows the cost to be calculated by the standard rule of cost calculation for that item in that warehouse and location. So in this example, what I did is I created for if I go back to my project, I can see, I think we saw this before. Here I do, I have my purchase order to American Door and Glass for product I wanted specifically for my window upgrade project. When I did the purchase receipt for this product, I made sure it was received at my branch, at my warehouse, at my real location. And again, that funky location, if you had ever used this before, the funky location of the project is no longer there. It is virtual. And I've assigned it to, of course, the appropriate project and the task that it's to go for. Now, here's the kind of magic to this. My inventory person is out there counting inventory and trying to bring up the product that I bought, and he or she, they're going to issue it out because they think that the values are incorrect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and issue out my custom pipe cover from my retail warehouse. from my R10 rack. And you'll notice that I have none available. At the bottom of the screen, for those of you who aren't familiar with Acumatica, at the bottom of the screen, Acumatica is telling me that this product, my pipe cover in this location, the 10 that I want, they're not there. Because my project is X. In Acumatica speak, this is a no project transaction. So when I put my project in, and my project task, I immediately see I now have availability. So at the bottom of the screen, it went from 0 to 10. That is now how Acumatica is allowing you to allocate and tie specific quantities of inventory purchased to a project and available only to that project.